digital skills and tools in delivering technology enhanced lesson. Lesson 2. Select and use ICT tools for teaching and learning. In this module, we can learn to develop the skills and confidence of educators in the appropriate and effective use of digital technology to support learning and study. In this module, we can learn the different examples and strategies on how effective and efficient to use the learners. So stay with me as I proceed to the next slide, where we will know what are the examples of non-digital and digital skills. Non-digital and digital tools in the classroom. You always need a keyboard. So as you can see in the picture, we have here example of non-digital tools. One of these are the flip chart, also the bulletin board, and the patterns. It can help motivate the learners to engage more. There are plenty of strategies in dealing with the learners. Also in digital tools where there are plenty of strategies in dealing with the learners. So, for example, like Wi-Fi, cell phone, gadgets, or internet. In these instructional materials, it helps the teacher to make his or her presentation concrete, effective, interesting, meaningful, and inspiring. Instructional materials like non-digital and digital tools are a great help in stimulating and facilitating the learning of the learners. So with this on the next slide, I will discuss further about the intended learning outcomes of the technology. So stay with me as I slide in on intended learning outcomes of technology. Intended learning outcomes. So what do you mean by this? These are the knowledge, skills, and abilities that an instructor intends for students to learn or develop. So what are the intended learning outcomes? First is the integrated media and technology in various content areas. What do you mean by this? This means that it enhances student learning process outcomes. Integrating technology provides students with the opportunity to develop skills and are essential for lifelong learning, such as research, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and problem solving. Next, describe technology tools that are used in group activities. So what are these technology tools? Technology tools such as computer, mobile phones, digital cameras, social media, and platforms. Students are more actively engaged in group activities or projects when technology tools are a seamless part of the learning process by the use of these technology tools. Third, use technology tools to collaborate and share resources among communities of practice. What do you mean by collaborate and share resources? This means that with the use of these tools to collaborate and share resources among learners, the goal of a community is achieved. Examples of these collaborative resources is Google Documentation, Google Drive. For collaborative project, Google Docs is free and allows you to collaborate and make edits simultaneously in the same document. You can share Google spreadsheets, documents, calendars, and other types of files easily with the use of technology and collaborative and sharing resources. Fourth, reflected in the use of technology and its relevance and appropriateness. As you can see in the pictures, educators or the young learners grow and learn, especially with families and early educators play an active role. Early learners can use technology to explore new worlds, make a believe, and actively engage in fun and challenging activities such as yoga, watching TV, singing, and playing games. We can learn about technology and technology tools and use them to play. solve problems, and role play. That are the intended learning outcomes of the technology. So, on the next slide, we are going to discuss more on ICT and what is ICT. So stay tuned as I slide and discuss what is ICT. So what is ICT? ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. This refers to various tools and devices or gadgets used in communicating, disseminating, creating, storing, and managing information. With the use of this ICT in education, it is the mode of the education that use information and communication technology to support, enhance, and optimize the delivery of information. ICT has also become integral by means of essential or fundamental to the teaching learning's interaction, through such as approaches or replacing the chalkboard with the interactive digital whiteboards rather students' own smartphones or other devices for learning during class time, and the flipped classroom model where students watch lectures at the home of the computer and use classroom for more interactive exercise. When the teachers are digitally literate and trained to use ICT, these approaches can lead to higher order thinking skills provided to improve and individualize options for learners to express their understanding and leave students better prepared to deal with ongoing technological rapid change in society and workplace. Also today, because of the pandemic, it is very important to use technology that belongs ICT because there are various examples that we can use in order to communicate with the teachers or students. So what are the examples? These are the computers, printer, cellular phones, Office 365 such as Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneNote, and any other technology tools that we can use for communication. With these two ICT tools examples, it covers any product that goes there. Retrieve, manipulate, transmit, or receive information electronically in a digital form. With the use of these examples like computer, cellular phones, printers, Office 365, it can help students and teachers to communicate, disseminate, create, store, and managing information. Also today, because of the pandemic, it is very vital to use these ICT tools. So what is the implication for this ICT? Let's look at the second slide or the next slide. So what is ICT integration? It is processing of information, effective accessibility to resources, easy sharing of resources, expression of creativity, and effective collaboration. With this ICT education, it improves engagement and knowledge retention when ICT is integrated into lessons. Students become more and more engaged in their work. This is because technology provides different opportunities to make it more fun and enjoyable. In terms of teaching, the same things in different ways. The same things in different ways. So why is ICT in teaching and learning important? It is important because it enhances teaching and learning processes. It motivates students, helps to achieve objectives of lessons effectively, and it assesses in teaching difficult concepts. It also obtains active presentation from students to the use of these ICT integrations. Since ICT integration allows is a processing of information, here is an example of how we can read information at a quicker speed and in an interesting manner. Here is an example of how we can read information at a quicker speed and in an interesting manner. So what is the example? This is a QR code. QR code it allows the readers to decode the information at a high rate of speed. Created here in the picture, in the given picture, what observation can you see about the picture? It describes here the function of how to use the QR code by use of the cell phone to scan the QR code it immediately give information on what the QR code is all about. For instances, in Paisano Mall, when we can go and shop there, there are plenty of QR codes that we can see at the Paisano Mall. So, example, in a dress shop, there are tags and there is also an attachment of QR code. When we scan the QR code, automatically responds of information or access on how much is a dress or a price of dress. So the QR code gives information on how much is the dress, but how can we use QR codes using cell phones? So here is an example of a video that discusses on how to use QR codes on mobile phones.
Quick Response Code, known as QR code, is a machine-readable code, formed using an array of black and white squares. It can be read using a QR code scanner app. A QR code can store approximately 4,000 characters. You can create a QR code for your phone number, email, website, social media profile, and other kinds of short texts. So, in this video, let's see how to create your own QR code on your Android phone. Android phones are coming with a built-in QR code scanner. However, it cannot be used to create a QR code. For that, you need to install a third-party QR code generator app from the Play Store. We'll use the app named Barcode Generator. Now, let's assume that you would like to create a QR code to share your Wi-Fi details. Let's see how to do that. Tap the plus icon on the bottom right of the screen. Tap Add Code. Tap on the option QR Code. Then, select Wi-Fi Network Config from the list of QR code types. Enter the Wi-Fi configuration details for which you would like to create the QR code. Now, it displays the newly created QR code. Now, tap the Save button to save your QR code as an image file. You can change the image size and color according to your needs. You can also directly share the QR code. You can also use this app to generate QR codes for 9 different types of data, like website URL, email, phone number, location, contact details, and more.
That is how to use QR code with the use of Google Assistant and by using our mobile phones. But QR code was created by a Japanese corporation, Densawave, in 1994. Effectively and efficiently connecting the physical world with the electronic world. A QR code or quick response is a type of matrix barcode or two-dimensional barcode. First designed in 1994 with the automotive industry in Japan, a barcode is a machine readable optical label that contains information about the item, which it is attached like what the video is stating or explaining the product. QR code often contains data for a locator, identifier, or tracker that points to a website or application. For instance, in a school where there is a poster in a bulletin board and announcement. But here are the following steps on how to enroll, and in that poster is an attachment of QR code whereby the use of our mobile phones. We can scan using the Google Assistant and it directly gives us the information on where is the website we can enroll. So what is the use of QR code? The quick response of every reader is to decode the information at a high rate of speed. Also in QR code, there are 10 interesting ways to integrate QR codes in teaching. And what are these 10 interesting ways to integrate in QR codes in teaching? Let's discuss this further on the next slide. And what are the 10 interesting ways to integrate QR code interactively? So first, we have create interactive and engaging content. The best example of this is you can link to a PDF, a document, a video tutorial, a website, an audio file, or any other files that the learners will engage through a content. Or you can reach the counter page in a class using QR codes that link to the other reading and resources. Second, we have a scavenger hunt. It creates an interactive classroom activities such as scavenger hunts by using QR codes that provide directions or interactions, resulting in better learning engagement rather. Because of these interactive classroom activities such as scavenger hunt, it will enhance students' motor activity and get them engaged in the teaching or the activities. Third, we have share resources. Learners can use QR codes to share educational resources with each other. Example of these are the lecture notes, read content, and how to do quizzes because these ways of using QR codes, it gives the learners the engagement or they are being interested on the educational resources. Fourth, enhance classroom later. It create QR code rather of students brief write-ups about why they enjoy their books and put them right in or on the books in their class library. Students can use their QR codes to find out more about the books. With their enhanced classroom library using the QR codes, it gives the student access and more information and resources on the related book. It also gives them the engagement about or the ways or the creative ways in using QR code. Next, we have use in the classroom activities. Can be used in giving instructions in use class and pin them inside the classroom, providing them with the thick copies of printed materials, giving instruction on how to do an activity. So instead of handing out dozens of handouts with instruction on how to work on a certain activity, you can generate using the QR code with all the required information and pin them up around the classroom. So it makes us more quicker by just using the QR code and like using plenty of handouts. Next, we have also gathered students' feedback. You can create surveys, polls, and forms using Google Form. And also, you can share the students as QR codes, which can be easily scanned and accessed. So, this is the best way in sharing Google documentation. You can create posts, survey, and forms using tools like Google Forms and share them with students as a QR codes that students can easily scan and access. Next, we have provide help in homework. Can be made into a QR code which students can at home and use information. It can help us also to comply with their assignments. So teachers will be able to provide detailed instruction and how to text in the form of a QR code which students can scan at home and use to solve the homework. Next, we have also a research project. It makes students create QR codes linking other resources and read content to their research work. But there is a problem if the student doesn't know how to make a QR code. So there is a quick video that I can provide on how to make a QR code using mobile phones.
Hey guys, Ricardo and welcome to another blog tech tips. Alright, so guys, today we'll look at how to generate your own QR code. Alright, so in case you want to generate your own QR code, I'll show you how to go about this. The first thing you want to do, guys, is get this app. And the app in question is known as this one right here, which is QR code generator. You can find it in the Google Play Store. As for iOS users on the iPhone, you can actually try getting a similar generator. Anyone should work, but I recommend this one. Alright, so the first thing you want to do, guys, is download the app from the Google Play. You can find it over here. Let's go in and search for QR code generator. Once you're finished, guys, just go ahead, tap and launch, and you should see the interface just like this. Now this is the default interface for the app. Once you're in here, the interface is quite simple. Now you have the generator. You can go in and manipulate the settings, but not necessarily. The default should be enough. You can choose the style of QR code that you want. You can go for the traditional QR code. If you don't like the traditional QR code, you can fancy it up with this one that looks like an Android guy. Or you can actually go for the book or the moving truck or the projector screen showing the QR code. Now all of these are the same. The key part is actually the QR code that's at the center here, and all this adds is a little variety. Alright, so I'm just going to keep it at the default. Next, you're going to choose what you want. You can go for text. You can choose to store a URL, email, phone number, SMS, contact information, geolocation, or Wi-Fi. For example, one of the most common ones to do would be to go for the URL, sorry, or you can actually try text. For the text, all you gotta do is just type out a message. It will be encoded into QR code form, and to read, you need to scan the QR code. I have articles on both. If you don't want to go for that one, you can actually go for the email, and as you see, all you gotta add is your email address. And for the geolocation, just basically placing the longitude and the latitude. All right. For the URL, guys, it asks you to enter the address and place a title. Just a quick tip: make sure you don't enter the title, only enter the URL. So for example, I was placing my website. My website is www.blogtechtips.com. so that's my website here. Let me just show you. It's blogtechtips.com, and that's my website. And all I gotta do when I'm finished now is just go ahead and hit generate. Remember, do not enter the title, it's not necessary. You just go ahead and hit generate, and there you go. That is the QR code for my website. You can actually scan this right now. It will take you to the website www.blogtechtips.com once you're connected to the internet. Alright, you can actually just go ahead and hit the save button, and once you do that, it will tell you it's saved. You hit OK, and of course you can share if you want to, and it gives you a number of options. I won't share, and of course if I go back and so on, I can actually go into the list right here, and you'll see all of my QR codes. You can store text as I showed you here. You can store text, or you can actually store URLs as I've shown over here, and you can actually save, or you could just screenshot this or just send it from here, which is quite simple. So guys, that has been how to actually generate your own QR code using the simple Android app QR code generator, which is a great app for you guys to actually try out to generate your own QR codes. This is Ricardo from Blog Tech Tips, saying bye until next time, guys. Bye.
How to use or make QR code. This is not this first student to say that they don't know how to create QR code. We can use Google to research more deeper about how to use QR code. But that is just the example of how to use QR code. Next, provide easy access to online content. Create QR codes with the URLs for students to gain easy access to online resources. Sometimes, a long URL is given learners may copy a broken URL version. Hence, resources become inaccessible. Like, for example, when I was high school, where my teacher provided URL for me to research, but I did not know that when I copy the URL given by my teacher, this is a missing information. Like, for example, the comma or the point for a slash or URL. That is why by the use of the QR code, it is more easy to access online sharing. Long URLs with student it is not always the best option, and most often some students will miscopy the website address and end up with a broken URL. That just like what happened to me. Create QR code with URLs you want students to check out and share it with them. The last one is to communicate with parents or partners. You can share information to parents in schools, events, or activities in school. You can also put in a web page for parents to get information or include it in a newsletters, information slips, and etc. You can have them printed as a magnets and parents can get the information. However, be sure to orient the parents on how to use the QR codes. So when there is a special events happening in school, it is easily gives easy access using the QR codes by just scanning the QR code. But by using the QR code, be sure that the parents know how to use the QR codes so that they will learn also what is the use of QR code. What are the information about it? So that are the 10 interesting ways to integrate QR codes in our teaching. So in the teaching and learning context, we maybe face a challenging topic given a short amount of time. So how can we capture and leverage that information swiftly and effectively while making it engaging and informative as well? So we can use this through using infographic. So what is infographic? It is a visual representation of an image such as diagram, chart, or picture, or data. It is a eye-catching and next level use of a clearly attractive colors, contours, and caricatures to provide a cohesive presentation of the information. Basically, the infographic is another interesting tool to use in instruction. So the infographic is a collection. It is a collection of imagery charts and minimal text that gives an easy to understand overview of a topic. So what are the tools that can be used in creating infographic? One tool can be used in creating infographic is Canva. So what is Canva? Canva is a graphic design platform that allows users to create social media, graphics, presentations, poster documents, and other visual content. One tool that can be used in creating Canva is using pictures. As you can see in the pictures, there are plenty of templates or design that we can use in order to make an infographic design. But what really is Canva? And how is the process to make a good infographic design? So here is a quick video on how to create an infographic design using Canva.
Hey YouTube, what's up? I'm going to show you how to easily, and I do mean easily, create a simple infographic using Canva. So the first thing you're going to do is go to canva.com, create an account if you haven't already, and then you're going to be logged in. Now you can come up here to use custom dimensions, which is what I'd recommend. And we're going to set it to 1500 by 1000 pixels and click design. Now, what a lot of people don't realize about Canva is that you can actually search for categories of images and not just specific images. So you can search for infographics, and Canva will bring up the shapes that you can customize for infographics. So for this really simple infographic, we're going to do Pinterest user stats. But let's start with a title. We'll come back to the infographics. Let's go to text, and I want something kind of rectangular. Let's just choose this. We're going to type Pinterest user stats. And let's drag this so we can get more of the page here. Okay, so we know it's centered when we see that line. So now let's do our percentages. So we're going to go back to infographics again. And let's use this thing that looks like a lollipop. Just going to drop it there. We're going to change it to 75%. And we can change the color of the lollipop. Let's do that. And then for our text, we'll make it black. So we can now copy this entire lollipop with the text by hitting copy and then just move it over. And when we see those two lines, we know that it's centered. So now we need a label. Oh, we've got to change this to 25%. So now we need to label our lollipops. So let's go to the text category. And we're going to scroll through here a little bit. Let's grab this. There, like that. It's a little big, so let's take the handles, drag it, kind of move it over. We've got that vertical line, so we know it's centered right there. So I'm going to release, change the text to women. And now we can copy this, drag it on over till we get our little lines. We know it's centered. Type men. Bam. How easy is that? Now we can also add a background if we want, or you could leave it white. It's up to you. That, it's a little too busy. That could work. So you guys get the idea. It took me, what, 3 minutes to do this? Maybe 4? Very, very simple. And obviously you can do a whole lot more. One thing I also wanted to mention, if you happen to drag something on your canvas and maybe, for example, this 75% was in front of the woman banner and you wanted to move it to the back, you can always click this back and it will move that image behind the other image. So there you have it. You can use these for your social media feeds, for your blog posts. It's just a fun way to liven up your content. Enjoy!
Okay, using Canva, it gives us efficiently and effectiveness in making infographic presentation. So go out there and type in Google and search Canva, where we can make a free design elements and produce one just like a professional infographic designers. So go check it out and make some professional infographic design. So what are the ways of using infographics? Ways in using infographics. First is to present survey data, presenting statistical. So presenting statistical data such as from surveys can be overwhelming. Next, the infographic survey can be highly useful, and the last data are much easier to decode. There are control different ways you can highlight case statistics, including using bold font in a bigger size than you are other text. Using one bright contrast pink colors to help your statistics stand out. Placing an icon beside your statistic to illustrate and help attract the eye using the original cues like arrows, lines, and borders to direct readers' eyes to a certain spot. For example, in the picture given employee engagement color, this survey infographic uses a few details makers to emphasize 3K statistics. First, its statistics are written in a big, bold font, then a bright orange background helps them contrast with a pink background. Each statistic is also grouped with an icon to illustrate each group of articles. Finally, each question, these are the 3 questions. There is questions with the statistics are placed on a narrow shaped background that points to the statistics. This arrow also helps point the eye in the direction the infographic is supposed to be in. So by the use of this infographic template, researcher or by making a survey data, it is quicker and easier to understand by presenting in an infographic way. Next, we have to simplify a complex concept. Simplifying a complex idea is the core purpose of using infographics. This is a very effective educational tool as a way of summarizing key points or providing an overview of a lesson. So in this way, as or concept, it is a way or a tool for summarizing key points or providing an overview of a lesson using the infographic. Next, we have to explain how something functions. You can show the intricacy of how something complex works. It can reveal the mechanics behind how an object works. Designers can create infographics by showing the mechanics behind intricate objects, processes, and concepts, like, for example, in the picture given of an infographic created by Xing Zhang in 2018 that shows how the phone works while incorporating serial elements that appeals to the imagination of the reader. Each component at the phone is accurately revealed, even though it is a complex work that by the use of infographic, it makes easier and understandably presented. Next, we have to compare. Presenting information by highlighting similarities and differences differences through a visual parallel in an infographic. More effective than sometimes expressing it in words. It is easier to draw comparisons with the same information neatly organized. Enjoying comparison infographics help organize the similarities rather than differences by visually creating parallels that complement the information being presented. Comparison can be difficult to express with words, sometimes to the point of being more confusing than revealing to the audience. So it is easier to draw a comparison with same information neatly and organized. By presenting this same information in neatly organized infographics, comparison become clearer earlier this year. A series of compared how the price of being superheroes can change from year they were created to 2030. Like the examples given where the residents it distinguish or a complaint compared how the price of the partner residence will be. Vehicle, gadgets change from the year they were created to 2030. The infographics were effective because they made use of changes in the each superhero's costume as a visual starting point. As you can see here in the picture in 1939, it cost $3,800, but on 2013, it cost $444,000 in a month. So we can easily identify the comparison from, or we can easily compare the price of the superhero change in year like clothing in 1939. It cost $10, but in the year 2013, it cost $300. So it can easily to compare easily to understand by the use of infographics. infographic. So those are the ways in using infographics. So that's all and thank you.